No handles.
Oh, you're
Zero
6'10"?
handle life.
Jasonn Hannibal grew up playing basketball on courts just like this one. His passion and love for the game from when he was young still drives him today. The Mississauga native bonded with his father over basketball, and together they dreamt of him one day playing in the NBA.
Around 8, 9. I first started playing when I was 7. So he'd sit me down and we'd watch all the NBA games and stuff like that. And it's funny because I'm, 8, 9, 10 years old and we're watching NBA games and he's like, Jace, do you think you can play with those guys? And I'm like, yeah, of course, Dad, of course. Okay, I'm 10 years old. There's no way I can play with these NBA guys, but...
Jasonn started to show strong potential as a basketball player around age 11. When he entered high school at Port Credit Secondary, Jasonn performed well in tryouts and made the basketball team. However, he was unhappy with how the team was chosen and the lack of opportunity for growth as a player.
Kids, and then you play. There's no really development or anything, so they don't they do what they have to do to try to win and do well in the season. But there's no action that's taken to try to improve players to be better for next year, or to have kids that are on the grade 9 team to move them up. So if you don't get better on your own, good luck. So, I mean, that's kind of just how it was. Back then there weren't really a lot of schools in Mississauga doing that kind of stuff to develop players and make sure that those guys get better and can go on and play basketball at a higher level. So, I don't know, I don't hold it against them, but I kind of wish they would have let me use the gym a little more when I wanted to.
At the time, the Canadian basketball environment wasn't one that produced many top-round picks or even NCAA stars. There were only a few well-connected scouts in Toronto, and one of them discovered Jasonn.
And I got noticed by other coaches and scouts from, I guess, more from Toronto. And they started inviting me to different all-star games and stuff like that because I was putting up pretty big numbers in Mississauga. Went to the all-star games, did pretty good in the all-star games. And then just by doing well around here and then going to different camps in the States, my name kind of got out, being oh, there's a kid in Canada that's pretty good, maybe you guys should take a look at him. And then there was a scout named Jim Thomas who, back before social media was really anything, he was a guy who had his little website and he'd make calls to different schools about players that were good in the area. And I think he might have called one of the coaches at University of Portland and told him, we have a big guy out here who's raw but still pretty good. So if you guys get a chance, come check him out. And there was something called Canada Prospect Camp back then where they say they have the top 100 prospects in Canada. Not necessarily, because not all of them can afford to come to Toronto for a weekend, So guys that are really good in BC, who might be 50th, the 50th ranked player in all of Canada, he's not coming out, so they'll just replace him with someone from Toronto, which kind of sucks, but that's just how it goes.
After 4 years at Port Credit Secondary School, Jasonn earned a full athletic scholarship to play basketball for the University of Portland. Although he found the transition from high school basketball to the NCAA to be a difficult one.
Because I went straight from high school, Canadian high school basketball, to NCAA Division I, which is the highest that there is in the college level. So Canadian high school basketball is not good. It's way lower than American high school basketball. So making that jump and then not even practicing that much in high school to practicing every single day, hour and a half, 2 hours, weights, never really lifted weights in high school, everything. It was pretty overwhelming my freshman year, but you just gotta adapt and adjust. So
after struggling for his first 2 years at Portland, Jasonn and the team started to find success against noteworthy college programs in his junior year.
As the years went by, we got better, because we had such a good core group that when we all stayed together by my junior year, we were really, really good. We were ranked. Well, we were only ranked for a week, but we still got that ranking. We ended up beating UCLA by 31 one game. We beat Minnesota when they were ranked. We beat St. Mary's when they were ranked. Took Gonzaga to right to the very end. They beat us every year, both times. So that's one thing that kind of sucks. Like I would have wanted to get a win against them, but unfortunately it doesn't happen. We played against Kentucky in the Rose Garden, so I don't know. Had a great university career.
The lack of elite level coaching proved to be a hindrance when Jasonn was in high school and still isn't up to par with the United States today.
I don't know, it's tough because coaches here don't really get paid. So like they just do it because the school wants a team, or like they love the sport, so they volunteer their time. So if a coach isn't getting paid, then why would they put in all the extra effort to make sure their players, are that good to play at a higher level? It almost doesn't make sense. Well, it makes sense if you want the players to be good, but then what are they getting out of it at the end of the day? Just the satisfaction that, oh, I helped him out, no, he's good. Some people don't really care about that at the end of the day, right? So if there was some kind of like funding for coaches, or some kind of clinic that coaches can go to teach them how to coach their players better. Because here's an example. I was on the senior team at Port Credit. We had guys on the team that couldn't make a left-hand layup just because they'd never developed their skills. And meanwhile, I'm doing stuff with the junior national team, playing here, playing there, AAU, OBA, doing all that kind of stuff. And I can do not everything, but my skills are up to par. And then I'm playing with guys on my team that they can only do one thing, just because they've never really practiced or had any kind of training. So they're good at jabbing left and just driving right.
Jasonn and lifelong friend and NBA player Andrew Nicholson are now working to improve the Canadian coaching system by hosting youth basketball camps across Southern Ontario.
I would he loves to play his bass. So I know he would like to coach, probably coach kids in the future, because he's fantastic with kids. Kids just gravitate to him, and he can get kids to do anything. He goes to a camp at out east with Andrew Nicholson, and there's one here, and Andrew always tell him, it's my camp. Why are the kids asking for you? Is Coach Jay coming? What about Coach Andrew? But and they're really, really good friends. The both of them really work well together. But he has a phenomenal way with kids.
After his college career came to an end, Jasonn hoped to land with an NBA team, but unfortunately he went undrafted and received no contract offers. Still eager to turn professional, Jasonn received an opportunity to go overseas and play in Iran, where he yet again had to adapt, this time to cultural differences.
Toronto is a very multicultural place, so we're very accepting of everything. But it's imagine being in a place where there really isn't freedom of speech. All the women are wearing hijabs no matter what. Here, okay, if you're Muslim, yeah, you're supposed to wear a hijab, but there's plenty of Muslim people that don't wear it, But there, have to wear it. If you're a woman, you sit at the back of the bus. No questions asked. You can't get pork anywhere. If you like pepperoni pizza, too bad. And people don't really speak English that much. They drive kind of crazy. I mean, no, it's crazy. I almost had a heart attack a couple of times. The cars are this far away from each other. Oh man. But yeah, it was different. But I've traveled a lot, so I'm kind of used to adapting. It took a little more for me to adapt there, just because I don't know. Everything was just so different. Whether you're Muslim or not, you have to follow the laws. I was wearing shorts. The GM pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you have to wear pants." And I'm it's so hot. It's so hot. I thought only women had to be covered up. I didn't think men had to too, but they have to.
While playing in Iran, Jasonn's father sadly passed away. This difficult time in his life didn't only affect him personally, it had a major impact on him professionally as well.
I was out there for a month, and then my father passed away. Now the problem, there was a lot of problems with that, because I had to come back for the funeral, and then when I came back, my team didn't want me anymore. So after that, I was okay, now I don't have a job. So I'm waiting for my agent to get me a new job, but he says, okay, well, you were only in Iran for a month and your stats aren't the best, so it's hard for me to get you another job, which I don't fully believe, because I have like a resume behind me. So like it should show that I've been good up to this point, and then there was like a family like tragedy. So that doesn't mean like I'm a worse player.
After Jasonn's family tragedy and his agent coming to him with bad news, Jasonn didn't give up. He's seen his longtime friend Andrew Nicholson, and he provided him with a great opportunity.
I stay ready, I keep training, doing my thing. And my friend Andrew Nicholson, who I train with all the time, he's like, yo, well, if you're not playing anywhere, come to Washington and watch some of my preseason games. So I'm like, okay. I road trip down with two of my friends, Jico and Paula. And we go down there, check out the games. He's doing well, make sure my boy's good. We go get some dinner, and as we're leaving, we run into the assistant GM of the Wizards. And he was like, oh man, like, you're so tall, why aren't you playing anywhere? And I'm like, well, it's a work in progress. I'm kind of waiting for my agent to come up with something. And he's like, okay, we might have something for you. And I didn't really know what he meant. But I guess the next day he'd messaged Andrew and asked if I'd be willing to come on as an intern to help out with like the big guys. Because as a big, you kind of need someone to like bang against, because you can shoot by yourself as much as you want, but if you don't have someone to like, kind of practice your moves against, you're not going to improve.
As Jasonn Hannibal continued to work out with the Washington Wizards as one of their assistant coaches, he's seen that his work ethic before and after practice would not go unnoticed.
Sure. Brought me in as an intern and just was there for the whole year, learning the different plays, learning how the NBA works from the inside, which was like really cool. And then after practice, the practice was only like, 2 hours. I mean, they would have weights and stuff beforehand, but then the actual practice with the whole team was probably just about 2 hours. So after that, they would eat and then they'd be done for the day. And I was like, okay, well, if they're done, I'm not tired. I still want to work out. So I'd just stay and shoot after. And they also said, well, the assistant GM also said, well, we can't pay you, but if you stay for the whole year, we'll put you on our summer league team and then try to get you back out there because we know you still want to play. Shoot, to me, you can't get a better opportunity than that.
Him being in the summer league this year, it was another really amazing experience. The only thing is that his dad was not there to see him get to that level, but it really was.
Like, I believe I can make it to the NBA, but I'm playing in Kosovo for $1,500 a month. How can I make it to the NBA from here? And if you fall victim to that thinking, you'll never make it. You just always have to think of like, where I am now isn't where I'm going to stay. And just keep persevering, just keep going, because if you quit, you'll never make it, And you have to have grit. You just have to have grit, because there's other people who are better than you that'll quit because things don't go their way. And you might make it just because you outlast everyone else. You might not be better than anyone, but if you outlast them, then you might get your chance.